Sorry it took this long, but I want to work on something a little more after the latest patch came out, patch 2.51 for Summoner. And what the patch note was released, where they made a update on Summoner to where they nerfed the MP cost from on Rune 1 and Rune 2 to where it's making it a little easier to manage your MP pool while doing fights and other things like that. So I gotta say that it is much easier to manage your MP now than it was back then, regarding with the certain fights where in a certain period of time you lose MP more, and it made to where you rely on Rune 1 more often than Rune 2, but well, not as much as Rune 2, but like use Rune 2 when you move around a lot to try to keep your MP up. But now it's much easier. Now that it's like, on my Summoner, my MP cost is 53, so it's like it's really easy. You don't really see the MP drop that fast, but it's much easier for me to manage my MP better. So if I use DOS or Shadow Flare, well, Shadow Flare is going to be a little problem. Well, actually, it kind of makes it to where you don't want to use Shadow Flare, and another thing it makes it to where you don't want to use Miasma 2 is it makes you want to use the 3 dots and either Fester or Bane more than ever than what you used to do back then to do DPS. I mean, you can. It's like it made it to where you use Shadow Flare sparingly. You're not gonna use it every 30 seconds. Now that the MP reduces, you're trying to save your mana, but at the same time you keep your DPS up. It's like you use Shadow Flare when you really need it. So now you just use your 3 dots and sometimes Contagion if you use Garuda. You also use your poison parts. And if you want to use Miasma 2, you can, but But other than that, it's like you really don't want to use Shadow Flare anymore, and you really don't want to use Miasma 2 or Blizzard or Try Disaster. It's like this update makes you want to use the 3 dots and Ruin mainly. They want you to use that a lot, and I don't know if anybody else sees that, but that's how I see it. It made me to where I want to save my MP so much that I don't want to use Shadow Flare anymore. I just don't. I used to use it a lot, but now I don't. So all I do now is just 3 dots Bane, 3 dots Fester, 3 dots Contagion Bane. That's all I mostly use, and I barely ran out of MP. But for the end game, and kind of sorry to say about this, I'm still on turn 9, so I can't really say much on the final coil and how that works. But if I do reach that point, then I will update that again. But other than that, I really ran out of MP unless someone makes a mistake and had to use the backup raise, or I have to use 8 to flow again and waste my MP on that and racing other people up. So, my pet dies, I have to recast my pet. It just, some things like that happens. But other than that, the patch really, overall, it made it easier, but at the same time, make it to where you do not want to use these high costing spells like Shadow Flare or Miasma 2. You really don't want to use that no more. All you mostly use is Ruin, 3 dots. That's it. And the more you use that, the more you realize you don't run out of MP, and you just use the ASO and recover your MP back up and repeat the process. But it makes you to where you really don't want to use Shadow Flare or Miasma 2. But I could be mistaken on that, and if I do make a mistake on that, then I'll own up to that. But that's just a quick update. If there's anything more on it, I will make another video. But other than that, I'll catch y'all later.